today we're talking about the calendar. So we do know there are 7 days in a week, there are 12 months in a year, there are 10 years in a decade, and 100 years in a century. We're not going to be talking about weeks in a month, or in a year, which there are 52 weeks in a year. All right, so we have the month of July, the calendar, and our first question says Noah's first basketball game is scheduled for July 27th. His next game is 2 weeks later. On what day will that game be played? Remember, July has 31 days in it. So if I look for 31, or 27, that is Noah's first game. And now I need to find his next game, which is 2 weeks later. So we're going to be going into the month of August. So I'm going to start writing my days in. This one is 12, 13. So what I marked in is the month of August, what I wrote in. So now we're going to go back and look. This is the first game, and we count. There's the second week, or week 1, week 2. So in 2 weeks, his next game will be on August 10th. The next question, according to the calendar, if today was July 11, what day of the week is 1 week and 2 days from now? So we're going to find July 11. Here it is. And now we're going to go 1 week and 2 days. So if I go 1 week, I'm just going to move down 1 and go over 2 days. 1, 2. So 1 week and 2 days from July 11 is July 20th. All right, now we're going to do some conversions like we did with time, but with days, weeks, and years. Remember, big to little is multiply, and little to big is divide. So we're going to do 8 weeks, and I need to know how many days are in 8 weeks. Well, I know there are 7 days in 1 week. So we're going from big to little. So 8 times 7 is 56. So I know 8 weeks has 56 days. 84 months equals how many years? So I'm going from little, because months is a smaller time frame than years. I'm going to divide 84 divided by 12. So you can think to yourself, what times 12 gives me 84? And that's 7. So there, 84 months is equal to 7 years. 6 decades equals how many years? Decades is 10 years. So decades is bigger than 1 year. So I'm going from big to little, so I need to multiply 6 times 10. So 6 decades is 60. 1 century and 2 decades equals how many years? I know 1 century is 100 years. Equals 100 years. Now I need to figure out my decades and turn that into years. So I need to take, remember decades is bigger than year. So 2 times 10, and I get 20 years. So now I need to add 20 plus 100. So 1 century and 2 decades equals 120 years. Hopefully this stuff is actually easy for you guys and you're catching on quick.